Beginning in October, Cleveland's most storied avenue will enter a new chapter as riders on new GPS-equipped hybrid buses roll through Euclid Avenue on the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority's HealthLine. A long stretch of the ride between Public Square and East Cleveland is spent in MidTown, a Cleveland neighborhood that has long provided a snapshot of our region's economic health. Once home to mansions of our city's great industrialists, Euclid Avenue and the entire MidTown community have reemerged as pioneers in Cleveland's revival. Recent estimates predict that more than $4 billion will be invested in projects along the Euclid corridor. As we toured MidTown to see the redevelopment process up close, we discovered a big city rebuilding process taking place with an attitude suited for Main Street. Bordered by downtown Cleveland to the west and University Circle to the east, MidTown sits at the heart of Northeast Ohio's business community. The district is the daytime destination for 18,000 workers, where companies take advantage of affordable real estate and easy access through public transit and highways. The revival has been a challenging assignment spanning 25 years. During the time period, a privately funded community development corporation, MidTown Cleveland Incorporated, has quietly driven improvement projects. We caught up with Jim Haviland, Executive Director of MidTown Cleveland Incorporated. What is it about this section of Cleveland that pulls you?
Well, MidTown has always been a place where businesses have chosen to locate and grow and do it very successfully. The area itself is very diverse. It has over 650 businesses, institutions, and nonprofits and labor unions, which is a very eclectic mix, very important for the city of Cleveland.
From the 1860s to the 1920s, the world knew of Cleveland's Millionaire Row as one of the wealthiest and most prestigious neighborhoods. Mansions filled Midtown streets as Cleveland business icons built sprawling estates designed by world-famous architects. The lavish residences marked Cleveland's reputation as a powerful industrial city. During the city's industrial growth, the face of Midtown changed. Manufacturing spread into residential neighborhoods, pushing wealthy residents east to the first suburbs. Manicured lawns and brick mansions gave way to distribution centers, manufacturing facilities, and automobile showrooms. Midtown transitioned into an employment center for companies employing thousands of workers. One of those companies is Applied Industrial Technologies. The publicly traded industrial parts distributor boasts more than $2 billion in sales each year. Applied traces its roots to Midtown, beginning in 1923. In the 1990s, the company constructed a multi-million-dollar headquarters on Euclid Avenue, choosing to keep 400 employees in Cleveland. Michael Katicha is Chief Administrative Officer of Applied Industrial Technologies, a Fortune 1000 company. He currently chairs the board of MidTown Cleveland Incorporated.
About 10 years ago, we had 5 buildings that ran up and down Euclid Avenue in the Midtown area, and we're looking to consolidate our headquarters into a single building. And having been in Midtown at that time for some 75 years, looking at Midtown as a first choice was a logical choice for us because our business really grew up in this area. One of our prior CEOs, John Cuna, was actually involved in the founding of the Midtown organization 25 years ago. So we've definitely had some long roots in the Midtown area. It's been a good fit for us. I think our business has grown as the Midtown area has grown.
By the 1980s, Midtown had descended into a reputation known for crime and blight as part of a nationwide trend of decline in urban centers. Midtown had evolved into a business and industrial center, but through the decline, workers and residents maintained a strong sense of community. The Washington, D.C.-based Brookings Institution studied MidTown Cleveland Incorporated and profiled the organization as a model for collaboration among public entities and private businesses. Cleveland State University professor Tom Beyer has researched city planning and management for its Levin College of Urban Affairs. Beyer has been able to watch the developments in Midtown firsthand. Tom, let me ask you, what are economic development corporations?
Well, they're nonprofit entities to begin with, so they're not business, and they're neighborhood community based. I think that's the important thing. They're really working on behalf of the interests of that area.
How has the MidTown Corridor gained the ability to drive change in a community?
Well, I think it starts with the businesses that are there. At that time, Euclid Avenue, Prospect were very unattractive places. Some key people came together and said, "We're going to make a different future here." Of course, the beauty of it now, from the perspective of today, is that they're succeeding very much.
Let's go back to that heyday. John D. Rockefeller and the others, they saw something special in this section of Cleveland.
That's right.
You see that same thing, don't you?
Absolutely. We're trying not to reinvent that. We're trying to reestablish that. And where you had Millionaire's Row and you had residential, they co-located with businesses. Back in the old days, it was electric streetcar. It was the first electric street light that was developed. Those same innovative industries and the new industries, the growth industries in Cleveland, are eyeing Midtown again.
Investments are occurring in Midtown as developers anticipate the increased traffic from the HealthLine on Euclid Avenue. The connection from downtown to Cleveland's University Circle District has increased demand for real estate in Midtown. Developer Dick Pace's Cumberland Development Group has gotten a head start in Midtown. His building, the former Baker Electric building, once showcased electric vehicles sold to Millionaire's Row residents. Now it houses an assortment of biotech companies. Just across the street, investor Scott Garson is turning the Victory Building, an underused former warehouse, into 100 loft apartments.
5 years ago, the Euclid Corridor, the RTA had not started any work. There had been discussion for years and years about the Euclid Corridor. And at that time, I was concerned that the corridor wasn't ready yet, and it was too early to invest. 5 years later, I'm back in Midtown, and the timing's perfect. The corridor's just about to finish. The Cleveland Clinic continues to expand. University Circle continues to grow.
Well, I've spent a lot of time in Midtown, probably upwards of 20 years, looking at people investing in Midtown, so I actually have quite a bit of confidence. Certainly what's happening globally with oil and energy prices and people wanting to move in is having, I think, an impact on our cities, and will have a positive impact on our cities, and people are going to be looking to places like Midtown even more so.
Do you see Euclid Avenue as being the major spine in this city?
I do, and I think that the Euclid Corridor project, the HealthLine of RTA, is a major contributor to that.
You're encouraging others to make that investment as well?
Absolutely. I think not only am I doing development, but I also do a lot of other real estate work in the area, and there's a lot of activity happening in this area. Over the last 8 years, I've been involved in almost 70 different transactions here in the Midtown neighborhood.
Paul Volpe is president of City Architecture, a Cleveland-based firm which specializes in urban planning and is working with MidTown Cleveland Incorporated. I want you to look into your crystal ball. What do you see in the future for this section of Cleveland?
10 years from now, a new decade as a result of a $200+ million investment in the Euclid Corridor project, I only see bright things. We're already seeing signs of a renewed interest in public transit. We're starting to have people talk about transit-oriented development, which means people living and working near where they get their transit. Imagine people getting on a bus rapid transit, heading 3 miles in one direction to see the Cleveland Orchestra, and 3 miles in the other direction to go have dinner on East 4th Street. Just doesn't get better than that. That's big city stuff.
This is probably one of the places, a few places in the country that you're seeing an escalation of land and building prices, but it's moving quickly. So now is the time to get in. In a few years, the prices will move up, and hopefully everything will be developed.